Well, we all love to be inspired. And this past weekend, I was inspired. My wife and I went and saw a new movie, The Boys in the Boat, and it had a very powerful message and a powerful lesson that I'd love to share with you today. Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Jim White, and I'm an author, coach, and the founder of the Family Enrichment Academy. But more importantly, I'm a parent just like you. Well, today I wanted to share a powerful lesson or story that came from a movie that my wife and I saw called The Boys in the Boat. Before we go there, though, I did want to remind you I do have a free resource for you at my website. It's a guide, and it's got the 10 powerful parenting tips. And you can download that for free at FamilyEnrichmentAcademy.com. So be sure to check that out. So now let's move on to this story about these young men who made the rowing team at the University of Washington. Let me give you a little bit of background before we dive into the lesson. So the story takes place in 1936, and it's about the 8-man rowing team at the University of Washington. Now, after a grueling tryout, 8 young men are selected to man the junior varsity boat at the school. Now, the storyline is built around one of the members. His name is Joe Rance. Now, Joe finds himself homeless and unable to pay his tuition. Now, the reason he went out for the team is he heard that if you make this rowing team, that the school would provide a place to live, food to eat, and they would pay the tuition. So he decided to try out as a way to keep his dream alive, his dream of graduating and earning an engineering degree. Now, as you would expect, this newly formed team, they struggled a little bit at first, but as they continued to work together, they started to catch their stride. Now, some people would say that crew or rowing is the ultimate team sport, and that's because if just one member of the team is just a fraction of a second off, the whole boat loses its momentum. But on the other hand, when the team can have a sequence of rows where they hit it all together as one, there's just nothing more exhilarating. Now, interestingly, I happen to have a daughter who rowed crew at Purdue University, and she has shared this feeling and this sense that they get when they row as one. It's just amazing. Now, you may be thinking, well, that's an interesting story, but what does this have to do with parenting or family enrichment? I mean, what's the point or the lesson that I was talking about? The point is the power of connection. Now, I had left that movie theater feeling inspired, and by the reaction of everybody else that was there, they felt inspired as well. So what this movie points to is this deep down need that we have, all of us have, to feel connected. We want to feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves. It gives us that inspired feeling when we have that. So this is why that building connection is one of the 3 core fundamental elements of the H2J parenting framework. As a parent, your role is to create an environment that helps to facilitate a very strong connection or bond between you and your children and your family. Now, this is so important because when your children feel that strong bond or connection to you and the family, they take your love and support with them everywhere that they go. They know that they're never alone or isolated. They know they're a valued member of a team, just like the boys or the young men in The Boys in the Boat, and that they are part of something that is bigger than themselves. Now, in this movie, these young men, they were drawn together by a common goal. The goal was to row the boat as one. Their accomplishments and the bond that they formed is the stuff of legends, which is why they made a movie about it. So the lesson here for you and your family, one of your goals is to build that connection within the family, and we work on that all the time. But one of the ways to help facilitate that is to have that common bond or goal. So that's the question for you. What is it that is the common bond for your family? Another way of saying that is, what is it that your family stands for? This is why I like to encourage families to put together, whether it's a mission statement, a vision statement, something along those lines, so that they can identify what is their family about, what does their family stand for. And this creates that common goal or bond that the family can rally around, which helps to facilitate that connection. So the question is, what is your family's common goal, or what is it that you could rally around? Think about that for a little bit. That's the lesson to take away from this. Because if you can build that strong connection, it just, like I say, it makes your children feel safe, they feel seen, and they feel loved unconditionally, and they take that with them everywhere that they go. Now again, before we sign off, I want to remind you I do have that free resource for you, that guide, my top 10 parenting tips, so be sure to download that, and you'll find some value there, I'm sure, as well. Until next time, remember, choosing a loving perspective changes everything.